What's going on, guys? I'm Tap, I play games, and in today's video we're going to be talking about everything wrong with Call of Duty Vanguard, which there's quite a lot, and I don't mean this to be like a completely negative video. It's going to be, but I don't want it to be. It's just that Sledgehammer Games and Activision has left me no choice. Give the video a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here. TapPlaysGames would be greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. So it is 10:30 on Monday the 13th. The first weekend of the beta just finished. Yesterday, which was Sunday, I pre-ordered, put $5 down on Vanguard at GameStop just so I could get a beta code, just so I could try it and play it. And I probably only got to play like maybe 2 hours total, just because I've been busy with the house, like in the last video I told you guys about. And, you know, the video I made a couple days ago talking about, you know, it was a World at War commentary, maybe like a week or two ago actually, and I was talking about, can Call of Duty do World War II justice in the year 2021? To me, the answer is no, and here's why. Between games yesterday, I was just like, you know, picking my classes or whatever, and I got to looking at the screen, and I realized there was like a Japanese guy on my screen with an American flag on his arm, holding a STG-44. So you got a Japanese guy with an American flag holding a German gun, and guess what? When you're playing the game, the voiceover is a British guy. So what are we doing here? This is not World War II. This is like ambiguous War II. I don't get it. Now, that's not to say that like, oh, it was only white guys and for, you know, whatever, but it mostly, watch World War II documentary. You're not going to see a Japanese guy holding a German gun with American flag being bossed around by a British guy. It ain't going to happen because it did not exist. In this game, there's no factions. There's no factions because they said they want to stress the, basically like, they don't want you to, you know, if you have a Japanese skin, Japanese character or a German skin of like a Nazi or whatever, they don't want you to like only be able to use that for half the games because they have it separated by factions, you know. So it's like half the time you'll be playing as a German or Japanese, the other half the time you'll be playing as British or America. They want you to be able to use every skin every game. So they basically got rid of the factions. It literally says my team and enemy team, and that's it. So you're talking about the greatest war that mankind has ever known. Very heavily based on race. We're talking Nazis were killing Jews because they just didn't like them. They thought they were rats. America nuked Japan. Now there's some controversy on whether or not it was necessary. Japan was pretty much already defeated. Others say that, you know, Japan would have not stopped and they were going to keep fighting till the end. And they were using kamikazes, and it was just getting too crazy, so they had to just put a stop to it. Either way, one country nuked another country. Two different ethnicities of people, races of people, however you want to say it. Italy was in World War II. Benito Mussolini, an Italian name of an Italian man from an Italian country called Italy. Race is so important in World War II. It is what separates, basically it's what draws the lines. And for better or worse, you might hate it, you might think it's disgusting and that we were pigs back then, people were terrible. Regardless, how are you going to have a game where you can have anybody on any team doing anything and call it World War II? That blows my mind. I don't understand it. It makes zero sense. And it's just a straight cop-out for one, microtransactions, and two, the not wanting to be controversial. Then do not call your game World War II if you don't want the backlash. Straight up. It pisses me off. Because I love World War II. I watch documentaries all the time. If you go watch, and do it quickly, because it's going to be off Netflix soon, World War II in color. It comes off September 30th off Netflix. I've been watching it. And then you come back and tell me that this is anything close or true to a real World War II experience. You're nuts. Watch the documentary. Play this game. Now, people are going to say, well, Call of Duty is an arcade shooter. It's not supposed to... If you're calling it World War II, make it World War II. Straight up, that's it. It's very simple. If it's not World War II, don't call it World War II. Now, going along with that topic, you have the gunsmith in this game. The gunsmith is absolutely insane to me. You have red dot sights, basically like holographic sights, all this shit that never, ever, ever was even close to existing in World War II. Go on Google and type in gun optics World War II. The closest thing you'll find is gun optics that they use on like flak guns and like guns inside of like planes. You're not going to find red dot sights in World War II. They don't exist. There was like one early model that you can find on Google. If you search hard enough, there was like one optic that was like a test back in like the 40s that like this game makes out to be like everyone's running around with red dot sights on their guns in World War II. It's insane. It simply does not exist. And the problem is they've let the cat out of the bag. Now that every game, it's expected now that every game is going to have like 1 million attachments on their guns. And that's never going to change. Now they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, basically. Can you imagine if they released a World War II game where the guns had no attachments because it was a World War II and guns didn't have attachments besides like a bayonet and maybe like an extended magazine, maybe? I mean, there's a freaking machine pistol in this game, for Christ's sakes. I don't even have straight up, like, proof. I haven't even looked into it. But I guarantee you there wasn't machine pistols in World War II. I'll have to Google it. Maybe I'll do that right now. I'll be right back. I stand corrected. There is the German Mauser machine pistol. 95,000 were made in the 1930s for commercial and military use, according to my Google search right here. But that wasn't a very common gun. The MP40 actually stands for Maschine Pistol. I don't know how you would say this in German. 40, and because it was shooting a 9x19 Parabellum cartridge, which is like a handgun cartridge. So in that way, it is a machine pistol. But the point of what I'm saying is, you got guns in this game that just did not exist back then. Or if it's not the guns, it's at the very least the attachments. And you have these STG-44s that are like fully kitted out like an AR-15. It's like a joke. How is that possible? It's not. And it doesn't make sense. And it takes me out of the experience. Going back to the race thing, you have, you know, I might kill a guy on the other team that has an American flag on his arm. And I got a British guy telling me, oh, you got your UAV or whatever, you got your intel, your recon. So the British guy is like on the side of the guy that's killing an American, even though they were on the same team in World War II. It takes you out of the experience completely. It makes no sense. It's not good. I thought Call of Duty World War II didn't feel like World War II. This game makes Call of Duty World War II feel like Call of Duty World War, which is saying something. Now, the gameplay actually isn't that bad, although it's basically just a reskin of Modern Warfare 2019, which I really liked, except for the skill-based matchmaking, which to me makes any Call of Duty a no-go as far as multiplayer goes. So, with that being said, some of the maps are pretty nice. The snow map is really hard to see. Anything, really, unless the person's right in front of you. The jungle map I really liked. Hotel Royale or whatever is decent, alright. That map's kind of hard to see people too. I think the jungle map's the best map. It's actually a really pretty map, probably one of the prettiest maps I've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. But this game takes World War II and like flushes it down the toilet. And I personally I don't feel like I'm playing a World War II game when I play it. I feel like I'm playing a game that kind of calls itself World War II. Now, if this game had the same voice actors as like World at War...
Enemies taking our flag! Retreat! Our flag's fallen to the enemy! Keep fighting until German victory is assured!
Artillery acquired. Artillery is in position. Our base is vulnerable. The enemy base is wide open. Nice work, Marines! Scratch one up for us! Outstanding, Marines! Out-fucking-standing!
Brain death!
Artillery acquired. Artillery is in position. Our base is vulnerable. The enemy base is now vulnerable to the enemy. The shame of defeat must be avenged. Though beaten and bloody, we live to fight another day. Honor to the Americans! You have brought shame to the Imperial Army. Your defeat has brought great dishonor to our nation. The savages kneel before us in defeat.
Now let's take a listen to the commander, ambiguous British guy, on the country, my team.
New intel, ready for report. Taking Able. Capturing Charlie. We hold Charlie. Like fish in a barrel. Marking hostile location. We've taken all objectives. Hold those positions. They're taking Charlie. The lead's ours. Hold on to it. Charlie is lost. They're taking Baker. Grabbing supplies.
It would be, I really feel like it would feel like more of a World War II game. Except the guns are so ridiculous. What's the point? You know, I'm basically, everybody's got to run around with the AR-15 with like a pistol grip and a this grip and a red dot sight. And, you know, it's I'm shocked they didn't put lasers in the game. I didn't look that far into the gunsmith. There may be lasers. I don't know. But it's ridiculous. I feel like the guns, like the M1 Garand, I feel like the M1 Garand isn't actually that viable of a gun. It kicks too much to me. It doesn't, like, in Call of Duty World at War, majority of the guns were semi-automatic or bolt action, so that made them all more viable. You're not gonna be able to get away with using like an M1 Garand in this game, I don't think. It's not possible. There's too many good LMGs and ARs. And in a war where the majority of the guns were semi-automatic weapons, I mean, most of the Russians run around with Mosin Nagants. I own one of those. I actually have one in my gun safe. Most Americans had M1 Garands or M1 carbines. You know, you had the Gavar, that's a German gun. Arasaka, Japanese gun. You know, it's not like everybody was running around with MP40s like they want you to in this game. And it takes away from the World War II experience for me, because they basically have made every game this ambiguous game where it doesn't matter what the skin is. It could be in the Cold War era, the Modern Warfare era, or the World War II era. It's just one mishmash of just shit. And the most interesting part to me is they want to erase the races from a World War II game. But think about the biggest thing to ever probably happen to Call of Duty. Zombies. What was the original one called? Nazi zombies. It's important that we not forget about the Nazis here. Like, it's the reason World War II happened. Nazi zombies. Nazis. How are we just like forgetting that and just running around and killing, you know, whoever with whatever? It's just and you know, what should we have just called it? If zombies was in this game, it'd be ambiguous zombies, because nobody knows what any race or team is. Now you may think I'm hung up on that a little bit, and I probably am, but it irritates me. The gameplay of this game isn't terrible. The time to kill feels a little quick to me. I think the blind fire aspect is kind of pretty sick, actually, even though I don't think it would ever be useful in a gunfight. But it's kind of cool. There's little things here and there that are kind of alright, but it's really nothing special. And in the grand scheme of things, if this game calls itself World War II, it needs to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror, because this game is not World War II, even in the slightest. It is ambiguous war thing. That's what we should call it, ambiguous war thing. Call of Duty, ambiguous war thing. That's pretty much what it is. Anyways, I need to get that ran off my chest. Maybe I'll make another video about the beta and actually talk about the game more, and like the guns and stuff. But that's all. That's it. That's the video. Sorry for the rant, although it's probably pretty entertaining. If you guys liked the video, give a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here. Tap Plays Games. I'm Tap, I play games. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next video.